So yeah, my name's Jeevan, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Sifteo. We believe in intelligent play, and we think we've invented something that will help in that mission. So let me skip forward and see if I can show you a little bit about where we come from and what we're doing right now, and what I think it's good for. So if you think back to when you were a kid, playing with alphabet blocks, you're actually accomplishing a lot. You were learning a lot. You were learning how to manipulate spatial relationships. You were learning about symbols. All these things which underpin, some core skills that you use every day. So Dave and I, Dave Merrill is the other co-founder of the company, were inspired by this, and we thought to ourselves, 21st century, I think we have the power now to amplify and change how we can acquire these skills with what's possible in computation and what's possible in sensing technology. So, to take you back, we were grad students at the Media Lab at MIT, and we just started working on this idea. So let me show you the roots of it.
One of the interesting implications on interaction we started to realize was that we could use everyday gestures on data, like pouring a color the way we might pour a liquid. So in this case, we've got 3 Siftables configured to be paint buckets, and I can use them to pour color into that central one where they get mixed. If we overshoot, we can pour a little bit back. There are also some neat possibilities for education, like language, math, and logic games, where we want to give people the ability to try things quickly and view the results immediately. So here this is a Fibonacci sequence that I'm making with a simple equation program.
So that was Dave, you did a good job. So yeah, the technology was called Siftables at the time, and people really responded to that. And we were like, maybe we're onto something. We should start a company and get this thing going as quickly as possible, which we did in 2009. And I want to show you what we have right now. We haven't changed very much, except for a couple important things. The Siftables are now Sifteo cubes. We changed the name because Siftables is hard for kids to pronounce. And those blocks cost about $200 in parts. Now we can sell a set of 3 for about the same price of a handheld game system, so that's pretty exciting. And we made them a little more powerful too. So let me show you what they do. And I'll talk you through this. So they're still blocks. They still recognize each other when they get close to one another. They have full motion sensing, so you can really do the kinds of things that people understand as normal gestures, moving things closer together, shaking, tilting. They are truly computational systems. They talk to your computer during gameplay, and you can write games for them. So it's not just a one-trick pony. And they promote some really interesting things. One of the things we care a lot about is spatial reasoning. This game is my personal favorite. And it's about trying to keep track of these items and relate them to one another, both virtually and in physical space. There's some really simple ideas too about trying to reason about space again, where you have a maze out there in the world somewhere, and you're trying to explore where it is, and of course something has to try to kill you. And of course, there are some very explicit things we can do about literacy and math. This is a suite of miniature learning games where we can promote things like spelling, sorting, numerically, fractions. This one stumps adults, and then alphabetizing. This one's pretty cool. This is all about relating a shape that you see to an actual physical shape you're trying to create with the blocks themselves. But they can do a lot of different stuff, and that's what we're most excited about. I want to point out a couple key things that I think they're good for. The devices are really good, I think, at helping people understand spatial problems, helping kids deal with symbolic manipulation, which I think is the root of how we deal with numbers and letters and spelling. And I also want to make a point about digital literacy as well, and I think what we're doing has a lot to do with that. Let me show you another prototype game we have going now.
Hey. A is for apple. C. C is for cat.
So it's pretty simple, right? But I think what we're doing here is we're creating applications that help combine notions of symbols, sounds, and concepts in a way that is pretty easy to understand. And I think that tactile component is really important for a lot of learners, whether you're a kid or an adult. And I think that's the thing we're hitting on. I want to make a final point about digital literacy, and I think that's really important to all of us here. You know, a lot of people, when they talk about digital literacy, they mean the ability to use a device. And I would argue that that problem is more important for adults than it is for kids. Kids don't have problems using anything we make. Literacy really means reading and writing, though, right? When we mean literate, I mean the ability to actually create something too. That I think is really important. So as part of what we're doing, it's just a really small step. These Sifteo cubes we've created are programmable by end users, so you can make your own stuff. I think that's really important, especially now. I want people to encourage people to be able to make their own things with the digital technology that we're creating, as opposed to just consuming media too. I think that's really important. So we hope in the future to make this an easier means, like to take the example of, many are familiar with Scratch. It's a great way of teaching kids how to learn how computers actually work, since they're so important to our daily lives. So that's what we're building, Sifteo cubes. I think we've made a lot of good progress, and we're really excited to get these things out there. And we'll of course be at the Innovation Arcade tomorrow if you want to check them out. They're real and they work. And yeah, just to sum up, we're Sifteo. We believe in intelligent play for kids and adults, and yeah, we're really excited to be here.
Do you have any message for the people who made this game?
What?
Do you have any message for the people who made this game?
Yeah. Thanks!
And of course, that's actually why we do it. Thanks a lot. Creating